So this week we'll be talking all about the California State University system. So I'm going to be doing several semi-short videos. I'll do my best to cover all of the information regarding the CSUs. So let's go ahead and jump in to get started here. All right, so there are 23 campuses within the CSU system, going from Humboldt, which most recently became a California Polytechnic University. So the Cal Polys are now Humboldt, San Luis Obispo, and Pomona. There are now 3 of them. And so those campuses primarily, as I stated last week, the CSU is more of a hands-on university, and that is the main mission of those 3 campuses. They are definitely all hands-on. But the CSUs range from Humboldt all the way down to San Diego. And of course, our closest campus is Sonoma State, just right here in Rohnert Park. So you can explore more about the CSU system by visiting calstate.edu. All right, so the California State University started as training schools for elementary school teachers in 1857 in San Francisco. In 1935, they moved from teacher schools to state schools. So the training of teachers is really at the heart of the CSUs, right? And so that is where a teacher would go to get their teaching credential, is within the CSU system or at a private university in California. But that just kind of tells you what the history of the system is all about. In 1960, the California Master Plan broadened the CSUs to include undergrad and graduate programs in liberal arts and sciences, as well as applied fields and in the professions. Today, there's over 460,000 students attending CSUs. I actually just looked that up this morning. It's down a little bit from when it was to before COVID, but still, that's still a lot of students within the CSU system. These next stats really put things into perspective. So 1 in 10 employees in California is a CSU graduate. I'm a CSU graduate. I went to 2 CSUs. I went to Sac State and San Francisco State. And then this one shocked me, 1 in every 20 Americans with a college degree earned it at a CSU. That to me is mind-blowing, that 1 in every 20 Americans, and there's 4 million living alumni within the CSU system. So again, it just shows how big the system is. Okay, so let's talk about the minimum transfer eligibility. To transfer to a CSU as an upper division transfer student, meaning you would enter the CSU as a junior, you would have 60 CSU transferable units done at another college, most likely a California community college. Courses at SRJC currently numbered 1 to 99 are transferable to the CSU system. The CSU will accept 70 transferable units toward graduation. That doesn't mean that they look at your transcript and, cut you off after 70 and make you repeat anything. Remember, it's a minimum of 120 units to earn your bachelor's degree, and so they're not going to allow you to show up with 100 units and only have 20 more to do. They have to deem you, eligible for their degree, and so they cut it off at 70, and then the remaining units have to be done with them. But minimum of 60 units, maximum of 70. You need 30 CSU transferable units of general education, and I'll be going over the general ed here in just a second at one of the next videos. You have to have all of Area A, which is a speech, or at SRJC it's a communications class, and your English 1A unless you did AP, and a critical thinking class. And then you need B4, which is math. And California residents have to have at least a 2.0 GPA, but many schools, that's not high enough. So let's talk about the realistic transfer selection criteria. Having that 60 units done, having the CSU GE, or you can do IGETC. IGETC was primarily created for the UC, but the CSU will accept it. and you have that certified by SRJC. So what that means is we tell the school that you're going to that your lower division general education has been completed. If you don't complete a GE sheet, you have to have at least 30 units. Excuse me, that's not correct. Let me back up just a second. The GE sheet is 39 units. 30 of those units have to be with a C or better. So you can actually have 9 units of D grades on the GE sheet as long as it's not in area A or B4. Okay, the English, speech, critical thinking, and math, those have to be C or better. But if you got a D in art history and you don't want to repeat it, you don't have time to do another class, you can actually keep it, okay, and it will still count towards GE. It's best if you have as much lower division major prep done as possible. And I know some of you are still trying to figure out your major. And so that's why this piece is so important, because you want to do whatever you can that's lower division, your freshman and sophomore level coursework, so that when you enter the four-year university, you're ready to hit the ground running in your upper division coursework for your major. Remember, no upper division courses are taught at SRJC. To be the most competitive, you really want to shoot for at least a 3.0 GPA. Some impacted majors and campuses may require some sort of additional selection criteria, and that may include a higher GPA. So you might see a major that says that they admit at a 3.2 or a 3.3. And so it's important that you, get the highest GPA as possible. All right, so impacted campuses and majors. What this means is that there are more students applying to that campus or major than the school can take. And so therefore they create this criteria to make it competitive, right? So we'll have a page this week on San Diego State and Cal Poly San Luis, because they're two of the most impacted CSUs. And for San Diego State, they have had upwards of 90,000 applicants. They can't take that many students, so they have to create this criteria to make it, a little bit more competitive. So the impacted majors vary by school. So like at Sac State, psych is impacted, business is impacted, criminal justice is impacted, but the entire school's not impacted. And then they can require a supplemental application. Let's just stay with Sac State. They do. Okay, so if you're applying to Sac State to an impacted major, they have another application you have to fill out. So they want to see a certain GPA. They want to see certain classes have been done. And some schools will admit a student as a pre-major. So here's the list of impacted campuses at the CSU. So we're going to, oh gosh, did this not come up? Shoot. Okay, hold on. Let me pause the video real quick. I've lost it. Pause. Okay, here it is. So this is the list of schools within the CSU that are impacted. So I already mentioned Cal Poly San Luis and San Diego State. We've got Fresno State, Fullerton, LA, Long Beach, and San Jose State. So all programs are deemed impacted because the entire school is impacted. And so they have other criteria that students have to follow. Okay. All right, so the next video will be about the associate degrees for transfer.